Hi, my name is Elizabeth Meadows, and this is my second speech for oral communication. And I have 7 audience members present. And the cameraman. And let's begin. When you look at this bucket, what does it represent to you?
Trick or treat.
Chocolate, candy, Halloween, trick or treat, absolutely. And as you all know, we're going to celebrate Halloween in a few days. Well, have you ever stopped and wondered, where did Halloween begin? I've often wondered as well. And according to History.com, Halloween has underwent several changes over the last 2,000 years to become the holiday that we celebrate today. So today I'm going to explain to you the roots of Halloween and the transformations that have taken place to make the holiday what it is now today. Halloween dates back 2,000 years ago to a Celtic festival that was called Samhain. Samhain was celebrated one day before the Celtic New Year. And on this day, again it was October 31st, just like we celebrated. And on this day they did believe that the dead and the living, the boundaries between the two, were obscured. And with that obscurity, they believed that the dead would walk among them and wreak havoc. Kind of scary. The Celtic priests believed that because of the presence of the dead, that they were able to predict the future, and because of the presence. And this would help them to predict what was coming in the upcoming cold months. And in order to ask their gods for not a harsh winter, they would have bonfires. And like we do often today around this season, we have bonfires to celebrate. They would also wear costumes to the celebration, to this festival. However, their costumes were a bit different than ours. They consisted of animal heads and skins.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, gross. Exactly. Thank goodness that's changed. Roman empires did conquer the Celtic territory around 43 AD. And their traditions started to mix with the Celtic traditions. They had 2 traditions of their own. The one celebrated the passing of the dead, and it was called Feralia. And then the second was called Pomona. And this was a Roman goddess that they worshipped, and she represented trees and fruit. Her symbol was an apple, and some believe that bobbing for apples came from this belief. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yes. So, by the 9th century, Christian and Catholic influence began to take over the region as well. They both also celebrated a day to honor the dead. They also, again, celebrated with bonfires, wearing costumes, and they had parades. This day was called Hallows Eve, and eventually Halloween. When people began to come over to America, they would start bringing these traditions with them. So the traditions varied due to the many ethnic backgrounds that were in America as it was settling, but many were still similar to the Celtic traditions. By the mid-19th century in America, neighbors began to come together to tell ghost stories and to read each other's fortune, just as they did in the Celtic festival. Soon the English and Irish traditions began to combine, and Americans began dressing in costume and going door to door asking for not candy, but food and money. Seems a little, I don't know how we would feel about people coming to our doors now, asking for food and money. I'm sure maybe some do, but specifically on Halloween.
Sounds gangster.
So eventually Halloween in America was made into a community organization or a community event. They believed that if they handed candy out to the children on this day, that would prevent them from doing tricks. So, trick or treat. So, if they didn't hand out the candy, maybe they'd get the trick. So, in conclusion, Halloween is a tradition that dates back over 2,000 years ago. And today I've explained to you how Halloween as we know it began and the transformations that took place to make Halloween what it is today. Thank you.